Hey, how's it going? It's going good. So I was starting this video yesterday, but I was like, hey, I'm just gonna start all over. I'm like, obviously, I'm quite Christian. I grew up going to church, but I'm like, in these past like years and stuff, I haven't been like the thing that I've done the most with my faith is like my top genre absolutely is Christian music, worship music, all that stuff. Listen to in the car, on Spotify. I connect my thing to Bluetooth, listen to in the car and all that stuff. And I'll share some of my favorite songs with you. Just list them off. And I'm like, cool. So I mean, I try so hard to get into the Bible and all that stuff. So my phase is like, I need to read the Bible more. And then I was like, cool. Then I do that. And then I stop because I get busy again. So, yeah. So I did write this down just because I wanted to so I wrote down 6 songs, worship songs. Kings of Kings by Hillsong. Yes, I Will, which is like absolutely #1 favorite song ever by Vertical Worship. Champion by Brian and Katie Torwalt, Torwalt. Courageous by Christain. Almighty God by Passion. God Only Knows by Micah Tyler. And Build My Life, which is I think I listened to my Passion, but there's a lot of different artists that sing that song. Same song, just different artists, which I like. So those are some of my top favorite songs. I mean, I listen to them in the car, driving to work, driving home from work, driving anywhere, anywhere. So yeah, and then let's get into more. Next, I want to bring up, it's so cold. I need to go lay in my bed because I'm so cold. So the next thing I want to bring up, yes, I changed positions because I'm cold. And I want to lay down before I have to go do something else later today. But I want to share with you that, see, I don't share a lot about my faith. I mean, in the right environment, I will. But obviously, if I'm not in the right environment, like if I'm working or something, I won't like saying, hey, yeah, I'm Christian. I mean, I will say that and just leave it at that. But I'm like, oh. So I grew up going to church. I've been in the same church since I was in preschool. But over time, when I was gotten older, when I was in high school, I was a part of the high school youth group, and then I went on mission trips. And when I was in high school, I got baptized. When in my teen years, I got baptized. And then I went on 2 mission trips with the church. 2, 3, no, it was definitely 2. To the same place, 2 different years. Had some of the same experiences. And the second year was obviously different than the first in some different ways. And then I went on to college out of the city, out of my current city. I went to college somewhere else close by, and I was like, when I get thrown into a new environment, let's say I am still shy in those cases, and I just need to find my group. I had no idea. I was obviously I wanted a group of friends, but then I was really shy with doing so. So the first week, new school, new area, new everything. I'm going to the college fair or whatever, then with all these clubs and stuff. And I remember back then, it was the fall of 2017. I was like walking around and I don't know what this is. I'm gonna stop and ask, like, what is this? It was luckily I stopped and asked. They asked me if I want, and I said, we're a college Christian group, and like, dang, this was exactly what I was looking for. So I got connected with them. That's how I know all my college friends. I met through that college Christian group. And then I decided, so I did a lot of stuff with them. They did a lot of outdoor activities, and there's like a lot of outdoor activities with them, and they had like faith-based conversations, and I'm like, that's great. And then we did Bible study once a week or something. That was fun. This was obviously pre-COVID. luckily. But like these days, it's like, I mean, I don't know what, but it's like you form relationships with other college students. You form relationships with other younger adults that are older than 20, probably in the 30s or something, So I'm like, hey, those were the leaders, and I'm like glad that I got to form those bonds. And then my second year, so that's fall of 2008. That was part of my first year. So January of 2018, if you go the timeline route. Like we had speakers come in and share their testimony about like their journey and stuff, and I'm like, that got me really interested really fast. Like, I kind of like more I did the thinking about it. I was like, I did not know how much it took to share your testimony, because we'll go in and I was like, oh yeah, you share your testimony and all that stuff. I could do that, and then I had like no idea what the testimony was. So I did in like January 2018, and then I shared my testimony in like May of 2018, right before we left for the summer break or whatever. No, because we would have gone till June, May, like roughly around like May of 2018. So I did January, February, March, April, May, like 5 months. I spent a good 5 months. 5 months. I spent thinking about writing a testimony, and the process was writing. Dane. Okay. So it took me 5 months to write a 2-page thing about like my religious thing, and I have the video. I mean, I probably won't post the whole thing, but like if I cut out a little bit snippet, I'll put it in this next clip or whatever. Still thinking about that. I'm not sure.
And for me was to be a member of the Scarlett family. My parents always wanted to adopt. They started my adoption process a year before I was born. I was adopted from China at 11 months old, and I have 3 younger siblings. We are all close in age.
But yeah, so if I decide that I want to do it, push it in there. I mean, I have to figure out like what's good, because I was like obviously scared because I like hate talking. Public speaking, man. I was like, first, public speaking I just can't do. It's and then that's why I worked up to that presenting, and I'm like super nervous. I knew when I was presenting, I had a hard year of school and everything. I challenged myself that year, so I was like overwhelmed with school and everything. I was like, hey, guess what, I'm gonna just do this. And I knew it wasn't me, because
back in the day,
we went on a adventure with them to rock climb, like
real rock climbing. I'm like, maybe not.
So I'm like, okay, I'll go. I'll just be scared and anxious about it, but I'll go. But it's like, I guess through writing that testimony, that's the last testimony and probably the only testimony that I've ever wrote. I want to read the Bible more, and I ended listening to hundreds of worship music, because hundreds of songs is about worship music and stuff, and I like that. And that's the easiest way that I can connect to my faith, is through listening to worship music. So yeah, so I mean, I've never thought about like, I'm not in like a place right now to like figure out to like if I wanted to write another one. I mean, more the what my mindset on that is like that always comes about when I'm like super busy, super overwhelmed, super like trying to get everything done, like everything done, like obviously keep myself busy. But yeah, so I don't remember that it was that last time that I've actually pulled out my Bible and sat down and actually read through it. I've been reading through these devotionals that someone was gifted to me. I was gifted some devotionals because I follow, it's like, you win a giveaway online. I was like, I was a little, when I say vaguely, I know this person, but I don't know them that well. And I'm like, hey, this is so cool. Love this idea. And then I entered this giveaway by following a lot of people, and I'm like, hey, I was like, they knew, I guess, I don't know. It's stuff like that. It's like when you want to work on your faith and you enter something, like you get, I mean, I had no idea that I was going to win this giveaway. It's like, that's exactly what I needed. Exactly. Like, I've got sent a devotional, some pens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, they're overdoing it. I'm like, that's a good way to like connect with your faith more when you, I like things like that, when you really want to connect with your faith more and something disappears, someone just sends you something, someone says, okay, yeah, stuff like that. Don't you love this? I